All right, guys, you know it's not a secret that I am a fan of micro brand watches, along with a ton of other watches, brands or whatever. But some of the main reasons I like micro brands is value proposition, unique features that you're not going to see on mainstream watches. Another thing that draws me towards micro brands, and it confirmed it with that recent show I went to in Chicago, the Microlux show, or if you go to the Worn and Wound Wind Up show, there's hopefully there's going to be more and more of this happening. But meeting the brand owners, or even if you don't meet them face to face, which is always really nice, but even if you converse with them via social media, in this case, this is what happened. Zach, the owner of the brand, reached out to me and said, hey, I want to feature this watch on your channel. So we talked about it, and I could instantly tell there was passion behind Zach's project. This is something he's worked on for about 2.5 years, and he had this vision. There's different colorways, but I think this particular one really captures what's going on here, because this is like a sand casted type case. It's kind of rough feeling, like you would feel like maybe a raw sand casted type metal or forged, you know what I mean? So, and then it's DLC coated. This particular one is. I'll put a link in the description of his website where you can do the pre-order. It doesn't launch until November 19th. I'm not sure when this video will come out. And then he's anticipating the shipping of the watches around April of 2020. So that's the way that's going to go. But let's just get right into the specs on this watch. You are looking at a 42 millimeter case, 50 millimeter lug to lug drilled lugs, 12.3 thick with that flat sapphire crystal, 22 millimeter lug width. It does come on this very heavily constructed canvas leather backed strap. Interesting keeper with a crossover leather action there. And some of the stuff may change. I did talk to Zach a little bit because this is technically a prototype. I think he did say the handset, the hour, minute, and seconds hand is going to be a little bit, I don't want to say more vivid, but the orange on the handset is going to match the logo and branding on the dial there a little bit more. So I think that'll be a good change. That's a better orange in my opinion. This is almost too, I don't know, muted looking. But I really like this colorway with the black and the orange, and it does look like an orange chapter in there, but if you look closely, it's actually a wood grain. So, and that's part of the whole theme of this, because the Rothrock is a state forest in Pennsylvania, which is where Zach is at, and the Thickhead, which is this particular colorway, is a mountain range or something like that in the state forest of Rothrock. So in Ardor is, if you look up the definition of it, it is basically passion. So this is a nice name for what he has going here. So it's, passion and forged. So it's going to be an adventure style watch, and it kind of screams that theme all over. If you look at it, just the casting of it is going to look really tough looking. And then the DLC coating on this particular model, the wood grain, also comes over to the rotor, which is something I've never seen before on a watch. I think it's pretty slick, something different. And that's hard to do these days, to do something different. You actually even have a little bit of wood grain in the crown there. So pretty slick all around. Instead of going with a full wood watch, I've never actually had a full wood watch on the show. I'm not opposed to it because I think mixing the elements is pretty fun and interesting to do. So it does house the Seiko NH35 movement. That's, you're going to see that in a lot of micro brands. That helps keep the cost down. The cost on this thing, I think when you get in early, I think it begins at $350. I'm pretty sure that's his price structure, and then it'll slowly increase as those categories will run out. So the pricing will go up. Pretty simple packaging, which is fine when you deal with micro brands. I don't need money spent on packaging. I would rather it go into the watch. So let me pop this on wrist. I think this would be a good one for a NATO strap as well. The canvas will break in really nice, but I don't want to say it's not my favorite because I think it actually pairs really good with this watch. I didn't buckle it over, but you just get a sense of what it's going to look like on my 7.25-inch wrist. The 42 by 50 it works totally fine for wrist size even smaller than mine and certainly larger than mine. And then with that offset crown, that obviously it makes it way more comfortable than having the 3 o'clock crown. I'm always a big fan of offset crowns. You guys know that. That's one of the big things I like about Seiko. So when that feature is carried over to a micro brand, I'm definitely on board with that option. So matching hardware here as well. So the loom, I'm not sure what formula he's using. And again, this is a prototype. The handset is going to change. So the loom on the handset is not crazy bright on this, but it is super luminova, and the rest of it is bright. I suspect when he changes out the hands, they will match in intensity, or at least be much closer in intensity to the rest of the loom on the dial. So I really think it looks good. It's going to be a really good adventure watch if this is something you're looking for. Check it out. Like I said, I'll put a link in the description to Zach's website, and look at the different colorways. There's some good options there for you guys. So I appreciate you watching, and big thanks to Zach for sending this in and sharing with this on with all of us his new project. Oh, you know what? I know a lot of people like to see him next to the SKX because it is kind of a similar sized watch, but keep in mind the lug to lug on a SKX is going to be much shorter. So but size-wise, it's very similar. And now it's not a dive watch, so it's more of an everyday adventure type, explorer type watch. So, but anyway, it's nice to have that little bit of a comparison. So most people know what a SKX looks like on wrist and everything like that. So that'll give you a general idea. And certainly with a black case, it's going to look and have a smaller visual appeal on your wrist as well. So, all right, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next vid.